guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Trinity Lahti and I'm a natural bikini pro in the WNBF and the ANBF. And this is my vlog. I like to do videos of my competitions, my off season, tips for competing, tips for posing. I would really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, comment, all the things so that I can keep growing my channel. For this video, I'm going to change things up and I'm going to do some diet tips. I'm currently in a prep for a competition and I am cutting, which means I'm cutting my calories and attempting to lose weight. And so I wanted to offer some tips if you're a competitor and you are trying to lose weight, or if you're just trying to lose weight in general. The main thing about being on a diet is managing your hunger. We all get cravings, the feelings of being hungry, hangry, just the physical symptoms of hunger get to be very, very overwhelming. And that's just a normal part of your body trying to get you to eat so that it survives. The deeper you get into a diet, the stronger those feelings are going to become. That's when people usually fall off their diet and they can't continue. You can't completely get rid of the feelings of hunger, but there are ways to manage it to make it not as bad and to make it more bearable. My first tip is to manage your hunger cues. You really have to know what is truly hunger and what is just feelings of hunger when you're not really hungry. So I did an experiment a few years ago where I actually tested my blood sugar over the course of a day for several days to try to figure out when I was truly hungry and when my stomach was just growling, just making noise. I would notice that my blood sugar at times was not necessarily low enough for me to truly be hungry. It would still be kind of elevated after a meal I had an hour ago or maybe even a couple hours ago. Not that it was super high, but it just wasn't really low enough to start really triggering what I would call true hunger. When I actually became really, truly hungry, the feeling would be different in my stomach than just a normal stomach growl. And that was when I could tell my blood sugar was dropping. I confirmed that with testing my blood sugar, and then I would know this is how true hunger feels. It is a very, very different feeling than just normal stomach growling. You might have to experiment with this to see what your hunger cues are, but I think it's worth doing so that you know what is true hunger and what is just maybe your stomach growling or just feelings of I'm kind of bored and I want to eat, because that can manifest itself as hunger as well. My next tip is to figure out your hunger times. I used to think I had to eat as soon as I got up in the morning, so I would eat at 6 a.m. before I went to work, and then I would become hungry again at 9 a.m. But then I noticed at 6 a.m. I really wasn't that hungry, and I was able to not really eat anything until that 9 a.m. time. And so you might experiment with this. You might find that you're not as hungry in the morning. Some people experiment with intermittent fasting where they do a 16-hour fasting window. Just be really careful, because if you are a competitor, there's not enough research out there to really know if it could be detrimental to maintaining muscle mass. See if it works for you. If it does work, that's great. Figure out when you're most hungry and eat around those times. If you're not as hungry in the morning, don't eat in the morning. If you're not as hungry around lunchtime, you can skip lunch. I find that I'm pretty hungry in the mid to late afternoon, so I either try to eat a pretty big lunch or I will eat a smaller lunch and a snack during that 3 to 4 hour time period. And also I recommend prioritizing your calories and especially your carbs around your training times. Some people like to eat a pretty big meal before they work out so they feel well fueled for their workout. Some people like to eat a larger meal after their workout to help kind of replenish what they've lost during their workout. I like to eat more after my workout than before, but definitely prioritize your carbs and the majority of your calories around that workout time, and just experiment with either before or after your workout, whichever makes you feel better. My next tip is to plan your meals ahead of time. Some people like a very strict meal plan where it outlines exactly what they're eating for every meal. I prefer a little more flexible approach. I have my macros that I'm supposed to meet, and I choose foods to help me hit those macros. And I do plan things out ahead of time, but if I want to make a swap, I am free to do that. So I might plan to have chicken, But then when it comes down to it, maybe I don't really want chicken, and so then I swap it for some very lean ground beef, or maybe I've planned to have potatoes and I really want rice that day, and so I'll just make the swap. As long as the macros are pretty much the same, it tends to work out just fine. Some people also like to meal prep ahead of time and prep their meals. I'm not much of a meal prepper, but that may work for you. But either way, you should definitely have a plan, whether you're following a strict meal plan, flexible dieting, whatever you do, you should definitely have a plan and try to stick to it as much as possible. My next tip is to eat lower calorie but high volume foods. You want things that will fill you up but don't have a lot of calories. So some good things would be like cauliflower rice. A lot of volume, same amount of volume as regular rice, but a lot lower in calories. Lettuce and spinach are also really good. I tend to put a lot of lettuce and mix it in with my potatoes or my rice just to volumize it and fill it up. I also recommend a lot of fibrous veggies. Protein also helps fill you up. Some people actually bump their protein up a little bit during a diet just so that they feel more satisfied after they eat. I also like using a lot of no-calorie drinks. Water, black coffee, tea, the seltzer waters, even diet sodas are fine as long as you are okay with artificial sweeteners. Things to create volume in your stomach so that you feel full. Also, some people like to chew gum. They say it helps with cravings, but be careful with that because it can speed up gastric emptying and make your stomach empty faster, and that might make you feel hungrier quicker. My last tip is to stay busy. Boredom can manifest itself as hunger, so if you're just sitting around doing nothing, it makes you want to reach for food. You start thinking about food, you start thinking about what you're gonna eat, and that can manifest hunger feelings. So great tip to stay busy. One final thing I wanna say about dieting is if you're hungry, that means your diet is working. Embrace that hunger. That might help ease the hunger a little bit. Your diet is actually working, and that's why you're feeling those feelings of hunger. I hope you found this video helpful. Give me your diet tips below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.